under your belt. Get that hot strike first, strike hard mentality because if not, the Cowboys gonna come out guns blazing and it could get troublesome for the Lions.
It really could, as we're off and away on Beckwourth Park. Oh, throwback for the ages on this one. It's a bit of a scuffed pitch, but you know what? It's a pitch that we love nonetheless. Be sure to leave your thoughts in chat. But a reminder, as per always with the High School Esports League, these games, these matches, they've all been played over the previous weekend. So if you are someone who does have the inside knowledge, if you do know the results of these games, unlike us, we're going into this completely fresh, by the way, then be sure to just, leave off the spoilers. Let's leave the discussion and the analysis for after things have come to a conclusion. No conclusions as of yet in front of net, as it's still a 0-0 affair, but Livermore Cowboys spending the majority of the time in the orange half, Mitch.
Oh, most definitely with the pressure, and that's what you wanted to do from the get-go. I don't think you want to give the Lions any chance to pound on you. It could get tricky if it happens. That pinch going dangerously towards the blue side, posted now, thankfully for the Cowboys, who are transitioning effectively.
Oh.
But not with as much accuracy as they want. She left me sad. We'll go on with the shot. Livermore unable to find the bottom of the net.
Some of these names continue. A decade I've been in this industry, and yet gamers continue to come up with new ways to make us feel emotions that we never knew that we had. Here's Bossa George looking to mark his stamp on the game. That's going to be thrown to the side as Livermore Cowboys continue this drive forward out to the side by a Menace. Bubbles heading up there. A bit of a double commit here with Menace. Finds itself into that awkward area between corner and backboard. Still dangerous for the Cowboys, but a nice read off the backboard from Bossa George brings it to the midfield line.
No, and she left me unable to find connection, but this one going to the backboard, dangerously so. Some defense has to be played on the last line of the fence. That could get also not only as an opportunity for the offense, but make the best out of the mistakes. Oh, that's a redunculous dunk. Shalavos will open up the board 1-0 in the first 2 minutes.
His tagline is tuna, no crust, but this goal is all filling. That's a difficult angle. Usually you'll see that angle achieved from nutty aerial shots, I guess, at Championship Series level, but this just a nice pinch, rolls along the floor, a bit of a lawnmower, but we were going for a bump there from Bubbles onto the keeper. Western Lions looking for a way back into this. We still have over half the game left to go, and still a possibility for sure, but Livermore Cowboys on the attack once again. Bossa George met by a defender, not able to beat the second either. Here's Shalavos, the goal scorer, and that's going to be pinched out into the midfield again.
I completely agree, by the way. It's half the game on the clock. Hold your caballos. Pun intended, the Cowboys have plenty of time to deal some damage. Now, I do gotta wonder if one goal is enough to win the game. Will it be enough to win it for you in this very first game of at least 4, maybe 7, or another one will be put on target? That could have gotten tricky. Instead was to have a 1-goal lead on the board clearance from the blue half deep into orange, and now Bubbles under the action will get the clearance that they need, but maybe a little too long than intended. There's a lot of hesitation from the offense, defense, which will allow the offense to push hard and harder by the touch.
And Western Lions continuing to ramp up the fray. I will say this much: 1-goal lead in safe until it's 1 second away from time, and even then, in the most bizarre of kickoff stations, you can find yourself with something a little bit crazy, a bit spectacular, as we can only apologize for what appears to be oh my goodness me, wow, we've gone into the distortion world, and we've returned, and it's still 1-0. We were looking to play for time, more time has elapsed, but no more goals have been scored, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's the time realm. It definitely got a little bit iffy out there for the opposition. What a way, though, to stay in there, roll with the punches, and make sure not to get sucked into a Menace. Oh, you are indeed your name. Tying it up in the last 90 seconds. This is what I call the 90-second zone, Relic. This is where you don't want to be trailing by anything, especially not one. They make it happen in the last 90, and now we're tied up even Steven, 107 on the clock.
And that is real bad news bears for the Livermore Cowboys. They've arguably had the better chances throughout this entire game, and yet, because they weren't able to find that cutting edge for another goal, West Linn have given themselves a back into the game, and there is still a minute left. Western Lions, the tail is up, it is wagging away, And NBA Miles is going to throw it infield. Bubbles, it's a 1v1. He's going to win the race through the corner, up to the top of the box. Manages to find that extra touch, but it doesn't have much direction. Livermore Cowboys survive another second.
Oh, it looked like there was a little bit of a slow start for the title ball game, but now that you got it, you got to hold on to it. Last 36 to go. Miles behind the action. Will pass to the side. A little bit slower than intended. Bubbles won't be able to cut off the passing lane. And the crease! My biggest nightmare will show up on the main stream with 21 ticks to go. This is how WLHS takes the lead.
Oh my god, it's always so ridiculous when you are trying to, you're stuck in a bit of a conundrum. Do you try and read it off the backboard but risk throwing it into the path of an on-rushing attacker, or do you try and set yourself up positionally? There's never a right answer. You just got to trust your gut. But sadly for the Western Lions, that gut choice was wrong. It was very wrong indeed. And Livermore Cowboys, well, they might have lost that early lead, Mitch, but boy oh boy, in the late game, they got it back and in style as well. Bubbles going to try and equalize, but close down as Livermore Cowboys claim first blood in game number 1.
Yeah, it definitely was a little bit harder than intended. Drawing that one goal lead all the way to the end of regulation was not the best idea, but hey, it paid off because you bounced back just like that. And if you ask me what to do, if you're losing in the series, you don't have to step on it. It's a longer one. You got a best of 7 ahead of you. The thing is, though, you do not want the opposition to move into 2-0. You might want to tie it up here in the next 5 minutes.
Westland Gold, they only have that winning feeling. They've only played one game to this point in time. They have won that one series, I should say, whereas Livermore, they've had a bit of both worlds. They've won 2 series. They've lost 1 series. They know what it means to be on both sides of the coin, and we'll see what metal the Westland Lions have to display as. Oh, that's a missing defense. That's a nice infield pass, but Menace not willing to risk it for the chocolate biscuit there. It's going to still remain with the Westland Lions, though. That's going to be a shot on target, and Bubbles pops it.
Oh, I love that. I wish I did not acknowledge it. It would have looked way cooler, but Bubbles did indeed position that as best as they could to not only open up the board, but strike first, which they failed to do in the first inning. Maybe this is a spark to start the fire, to turn this one into a W and tie up the series.
Chavalos, infield. She left me, leaves the scene. Is there irony in that? Yes, absolutely. Is there irony in this? No, what a great choice of pass there. NBA Miles unable to dunk it. Livermore, sorry, my apologies. I was so set on reading names, of course, with so many high school and collegiate players to keep an eye on, folks. You will forgive us for not knowing all of these players intimately. Livermore Cowboys are the team that take the lead, of course, not the Westland Lions, which isn't great then, of course, for the Westland Lions. The second time in 2 games where they've gone behind first, and that was a lovely inventive effort from Bubbles. Goes wide, and Westland Lions, well, here we thought they were taking the lead and strolling into an advantage, which it turns out they're underneath the kosh and struggling to get out.
Oh, the Lions doing what they do best, rule the jungle, and the Cowboys. This is not necessarily the best climate to live in. The thriving is in the Westland side. Of course, they want to expand on their series lead. Oh, what a bounce off the crossbar. Those can get tricky when it comes to the reads. Bubbles, though, won't forgive nor forget. That's a 2-goal lead.
So yes, I've doubly realized that actually the names were wrong from last game as well. So the Westland Lions are the winning feeling because they are currently 1-0 up. The Livermore Cowboys, though, my goodness me, they've managed to find 2 goals. They've managed to find an advantage, whereas they were really struggling to bring together plays. Well, those plays are being strung together like a beautiful slice of string cheese, Mitch. Oozy.
Yeah, if you're not careful, this can get out of hand rather quick, out of paw, right? The Lions. The Cowboys, though, in full control of this second meeting. There's still plenty of Rocket League on the clock. Westland has to retaliate immediately, though. 3 down already in the first 2 minutes. By this point in game 1, they only had 1 on the board, and they had to extend the game all the way into the final moments to secure the W. This time, the Cowboys are not playing anymore. They're ready for a shootout, and they're going to get it in game 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, of course, West Linn Lions, I think I get the impression, based on their playing style, that they probably dominated that first win of the season. But now that they're starting to find themselves losing out on possession and losing those 50 duels, it's difficult to try and figure a way to get back into it because they've not been in this position before. A Menace, been on that position on the backboard plenty of times, misses the ball but has Bubbles to bail him out. She left me, trying to leave it to a teammate, but there's an interception from Livermore there on the backboard. Believe me, I've got plenty of this still in the tank to go. NBA Miles has got a shot in the tank. It's a little bit weak, however, and Bubbles is forced to reset back with a Menace.
Oh boy.
Oh!
Second half of the game.
What a pick.
Bubbles. I'm getting the word. You cannot interrupt the throw, but look at how Bubbles interrupts the passing lane off the bar and out. What a way to just translate whatever we were seeing. And in the fast-paced meta, you think that the Lions are about to slow it down, and then immediately the Cowboys intercept it again. Bubbles, I believe that's a hat trick here in game number 2. And that's how you strike first and strike hard. 4-0 entering the second half of the game. The Lions are clueless about what to do right now.
Oh, I think they've got an idea, at least at the midfield line. It's a bit of a worksman-like clearance from Chavalos, but what he does well here, Mitch, is, of course, he gets the aim on target. It's not the prettiest of shots. It's not the most powerful of shots. It's not the most well-worked of shots, but because it's on target, he catches the Livermore defense completely out of sorts. It gives them a lifeline in game number 2, and there are still 2 minutes left, so if Livermore Cowboys could score 3 in 2 minutes themselves, it was not to say that the West Linn Lions can themselves.
Yeah, the Cowboys definitely slipped up there defensively. Huge gap on the rotation. If you can take care of that with a 3-goal lead, you might as well just put this one to bed. It's just a matter of communicating effectively. That could get tricky in the second half of the game, especially the 90-second zone. When you're already thinking about game number 3 while you're in the lead, you might want another one for insurance. NBA Miles with the Euro step across the defense will sing the 5th one for the Cowboys.
Jumped by Van Halen. I don't think there's been a more appropriate player anthem for that particular goal as everyone jumps up, but nobody hits the ball. NBA Miles has a straight shot through on net, and all of a sudden we're looking at 4 goals to try and find in 90 seconds. Now that is a difficult task, even for the best of teams here. Can the West Linn Lions do the impossible?
90-second zone. It's always problematic for the winning team. You think you've already got it unlocked. The Menace has a different say on it. They want to play defense for the remainder of regulation. Long rotation for Menace. Bubbles will have to go. The man of the hour will try to put it in the middle of the field.
Oh, nice flip.
What a pass. And I don't think even whoever was getting assisted by the flick knew that the flick was coming. I mean, water comes, right? But when you're peeking with the assist, you might as well just fail. I don't think he's going to hit that. Well, Bubbles just did. They're looking for the 6th one. This one will get rejected off the crossbar and out. But it's the Cowboys who keep on pounding on that last third. They might as well find the Brazil.
It was a little too high quality for the lobby. Perhaps everyone caught out, maybe even the player themselves. It's like, oh, they actually did it. Oh, my goodness. And look, it's not going to hurt them either way. That was looking for goal number 6. They've still got a 4-goal advantage with 20 seconds left at this stage. I believe that game number 2 surely is written into the win. Nice demo play here from Chavalos, but even still, the passing plays, the clinical edge, it wasn't really there. And now the Hail Mary looking for Bubbles!
Wow.
Cherry pick 6-1.
That's just textbook redirect pass, assist, lob, and dunk, and Bubbles with a nasty aerial to add some flair behind the shot. 61, I am a dreamer. 9 seconds to go. I can also say I want the Cowboys to sink the 7th one because give me the Brazil. Not that way. The Lions almost scored their 2nd one. No, rejected. I love you, Menace. This one will stay at least 6-1. Keep it up in the air to the corner. This one, great 50. Nearing the middle of the box, but a party pooper behind the Lions. This one, 6-1, tied up series. We're going to essentially a best of 5.
Tie series, the most comprehensive sort of response you can possibly. The only thing that I think that Livermore Cowboys will be going away from that game thinking is, clean sheet would have been nice, wouldn't it? That 1 goal kind of sticks out in the end. Or indeed, failing to get the Brazil themselves. So they're 1 goal away from the perfect scenario on either side of things. But we head into game number 3 then, with, I think, the parity very much restored, Mitch. Livermore Cowboys, they're vibing, and they almost get a goal immediately off the rip.
Oh, boy. I mean, Some call it luck. I call it Cowboys. I don't know what happened there, but that seemed meticulous on the approach with a kickoff. He went straight towards net. Thankfully, the rotation was there for the Lions. They were able to pull off the save, but not for long. This went another menace from Menace, who will try to put it inside the box. Bosser trying to crawl out from their own half. That's been attacked for the entirety of the meeting. 30 seconds. It's all Cowboys long.
I like it. Oh. Trying to dunk on the final defender there, wasn't able to. Livermore Cowboys unable to reach the midfield line. That's thanks to Bossa George looking for that backfield pass to themselves. Menace deals with it. Bubbles, full of sugar, spice, and everything nice, but unable to find a way past Chavalos on this occasion. Infield pass,
Wow.
Bossa George throws it underneath the crossbar. Limited space to work with, but it's 1-0 Lions.
Oh, boss him around, kid. Look at George taking flight. Dorito. It's not about accuracy or strength. It's about speed, and Bosser does exactly what needed to be done to open up the score. And this may be the momentum that the Lions were asking for.
She left me. Looking to... It's such a great name, isn't it? It just gets better with every time we say it. Unable to do much on this occasion, though. All three Livermore defenders back in town, and Menace able to bring it right through the corner here. Way going, or I should say, not choosing to pick up the boost, but unfortunately, that choice didn't result in a goal. And now on the counterattack, Bossa George has got all the pitch to himself, but Menace again, really standing strong at the back here. That's 3 saves, I want to say, in the space of this game alone.
Oh, George of the Jungle will try to sing the second one, and they are relentless with the pressure. I think that the Cowboys, cards on the table, I thought that the Cowboys were warming up game 1, and then they tried to pick it up in game 2, and they got a little out of hand, but now, it seems like once the Lions score first, they got the Cowboys number. Oh, a triple commit for the save. Bubbles has to come in to clean up after the defense, but the Lions, it seems like they're the ones who are losing at the moment. They keep on punching at the defense. Hopefully something will go by.
Menace picks the pocket, but isn't able to pick out the goal mouth. Bossa George, you got Chavalos ahead, looking for a bumping run, but avoiding it was NBA Miles there. Gets enough on this to at least break up the possession, break up the drive, and allows Livermore now to go for some Route 1 Rocket League. Miles meets Bossa George in the middle. Menace tries to throw it around the corner. She left me, misses it. Bossa George doesn't. Bubbles takes it up high, and Bubbles, for me, is the most mechanically gifted player on this pitch, Mitch. Just so much aerial prowess and presence. You can see that the confidence is flowing, and I'm sure that the Livermore Cowboys will be looking to him to break, at least open the defense of Western Lions, as it's still 1-0 to them.
Now entering the second half, they might as well start thinking about some insurance right about now, that 90-second zone. It's tricky. The Cowboys, they might not have the best chances at the opponent's net, but one will be enough. This one is a miss clear, but she left me will come in handy at the very last moment, just outside the box to make sure that they put this one to the side and out. Double commit on the Cowboys backboard, and now a rule 1. That is broken. Excuse me? Are you not like... what are you doing? This could be karma for either side. I'm not too sure who broke it, but whoever did is about to get scored, and we're about to get confirmation, of course, if there are any more scores to go here in game number 3. The Lions playing D. This one is a drop down by Menace. A shot will be denied. Great defense with the interception. 90 seconds on in full effect. The Cowboys still looking for one.
Yeah, rule 1, of course, now has another meaning to add to the extensive list, as, of course, the Augur, headed by Sunless Khan, enters the Rocket League scene. Very exciting to see that, but there's been no excitement for either side in front of net, at least. Well, I guess there's been excitement for the Western Lions, and they've been desperately trying to defend away this rabid Livermore Cowboys attack, and they'll be well wary, Mitch, because my goodness me, that should surely be 1-0. It's not, thanks to Bossa George. Western Lions, they were in this position before 2 games ago. They don't want to see it equalized yet again.
Bossa is just doing God's work on that last third. I cannot believe not only did they sing the only one, at least in the last 4 minutes of regulation of the game, but also stopped the biggest opportunity for the Cowboys so far. And what seemed to be a goal already, just a matter of putting it away from the keeper. You don't have to test it right in front of their nose. You might as well go for the angle, the low one, the high one, what have you. But not towards Bosser. They're going to be putting that one away. Last 36 to go. And this is a time for Lions to milk the clock. Can Lions milk? Well, she left me doing that to the defense. Posting out. Nobody there for the follow-up. Last 15 ticks to go. Lions need to survive.
Had this been a different game at a different time, Shalavos would have been heading straight towards that ball in the midfield. Plays it safe. Livermore forced to play it all the way back to their own backboard. Bubbles, it's all down to you. He loses the race. Shalavos looking to try and spike this. The ball hits the floor anyway. And West Linn Lions, that's another 1-goal advantage win and a 1-game advantage in the series. They're up 2-1.
Yeah, trading blows. I mean, the Lions clawing their way back into the series. The Cowboys shooting right back in game 2, and now it's just, we're going to be doing that the entirety of the best of 7. I can already sense it in my guts. It's routine when it comes to the high school esports league, and especially with this long format for the series. I can see the Cowboys bouncing back one way or another. The Lions will have a golden chance here to move on to match point in game number 4.
Such a cute little touch there from Menace off to the side. Very innocuous, but does the job really well. Keeps possession with the Livermore Cowboys, as West Linn Lions are perhaps a little more eager to try and start the scoring off strong through their means rather than against their means. Bubbles stays in the area, maybe look for the doink onwards. Bossa George again, an interfering run. She left me, misses out. This is going to hit the backboard. Great opportunity for Livermore Cowboys. It's a whifty. That's an open net. Bossa George back in place, but not in place enough. It's Bubbles who claims the goal, but it's carnage at the back.
Oh, you cannot expect George to be making plays 24/7, all 5 minutes of regulation, and then some. He has to break at some point, and this time the Cowboys will find the bottom of the net. First, this is the start that you wanted, and that's the start that we've been getting the entirety of the series. Whoever scores first wins, and this time the Cowboys, after dropping the last game, they will also open up the board. Hopefully they can remain in the lead so we can get more action out of these two.
Nice challenge, actually, and that's a miss. Oh, Livermore Cowboys, they could not be dealing with this any worse, and somehow West Linn Lions have left them off the hook. Oh, Menace completely misread. Oh, my goodness, how have you not scored? West Linn Lions, the roar worse than the bite.
Oh, I am not gonna lie. That looked like a traffic jam rather than a Rock League game. It's like everybody had their own lane, going in circles without even bumping, which seems just like synchronized driving at this point. The Lions, though, cannot find the bottom of the net. What an angle, though, for the shot, and great defense to put it away. First 90 seconds go to the Cowboys, and now it's the Lions who are trying to escape their own half. It seems like they're a zoo, though. They're just being watched, and it's not like they're collaborating that much amongst each other. They got their own cages of sorts. We need some chemistry if you're trying to break the Cowboys' D, who seem to be just on a lucky roll somehow, some way. Still got a 1-goal lead.
Oh, lovely patience from Bubbles, trying to beat the entire defense, which we know that they can do in another loose ball moment there, as Livermore Cowboys know how to punish those. Hits the backboard. Bossa George gets that 100, tries to spike it up against their own backboard. Dangerous. Bubbles looking for the waterfall pass down, but way too far back was NBA Miles. It's an easy save away for Shalavos, I should say. Picking up the 100, securing the 100, Livermore Cowboys. As a team bump at the back for the West Linn Lions. Bubbles looking for the impossible angle. Close, but not close enough.
Oh, Bubbles, I see what you're trying to do. Get a clip on the mainstream? Well, maybe
my word.
No, Bubbles! No! Don't do this to me! Bubbles, I was hyping you up! This one will be crossbar out, bounce crossbar and out again. The Cowboys won't be able to get the insurance that they wanted. Heck, if this did anything was give the Lions momentum, because now not only are they laughing, but that breaks the ice and the columns. They can capitalize on it. After 2 huge misses out of the Cowboys, they might as well find themselves in a tie ball game.
Bubbles blowing out those Powerpuff cheeks and trying hard as they might to at least give some daylight to him and his teams, but not at this moment in time. Oh, it's a lovely little touch off to the side once again, as West Linn, they have been given, they're like a cat. They've currently run through maybe 3 or 5 lives in this game. Still the score 1. Oh, Livermore Cowboys, both sides to be fair, desperately trying to find that one extra goal that could change the complexion of game number 4. Still nothing going as there's 90 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, the 90-second zone. The Cowboys again just leading by 1, and not where you want to be, but definitely the best position out of the two. You don't want to be trailing. That 1 goal will do wonders to you, especially when you try to tie up this series. She left me looking for the demo.
Nice
Finds the bump. Well, now look for the pass, and I don't think that was the rotation. Now they break up their own offense. They need to go all the way back and steal some boost in the process. She left me a little ball chasey. Maybe that's why she left. You know, that could be a problem. A little bit on top of each other for the longest. You might want to give a little bit of space like the one the Cowboys are getting. This could be their chance to run out the clock away from danger. But a lot of dangerous bounces. Still in the orange space, 40 seconds to go.
Oh, nice bump. She left me, took the house, but didn't take the shot in the end from Bossa George. And that is the tie game scenario that Livermore Cowboys were waiting for. Just a bit of hesitancy from NBA Miles there. Needed to be a bit more proactive on the line. Maybe it was a miscommunication between him and his other defender as to who was to go and close him down. But it does mean that there is a lifeline for West Linn here as we enter the final 35 seconds. Oh, that pinch could have gone perilously close to the blue net as Livermore looking to redress the balance here. It's loose infield. It's Bossa George maybe looking for that bumping run, able to try and at least avert Bubbles' gaze for a little bit. NBA Miles has picked up possession now, but no boost to work with. Are we going to be heading to our first overtime of the day?
Oh boy, and it smells like so. 15 ticks to go. And
oh, Bubbles!
From Bubbles! What a way to not only deny the overtime, 11 seconds to go. They will show out in the final moments. The Lions are stunned back in their cages.
Just stomps it into the ground, and there's just a little bit of lacking pace so that it sneaks underneath the crossbar. I said, this guy stands out as the most mechanically gifted player on the pitch, and although it is very much a team game, Rocket League, those hero moments can make or break series. It is 2-2, and Livermore Cowboys, it doesn't matter if West Linn Lions are one step ahead, this feels like it's heading potentially to Game 6, Game 7 territory.
Double trouble out of Bubble. George and Bubble are carrying the series right now, and that's probably the best thing you can expect out of best of 7. Have two stars just being the protagonists for their own teams now, going to essentially a best of 3. Lions and Cowboys will get him at least 2 more times, but it's been a back and forth so far. I do, like you said, expect this one to go the distance, Relic.
I was going to say, I've miscalculated in a sense because, of course, with that last result, we are guaranteed a Game 6. Both of these sides have to get themselves another win as that pinch goes completely around the world. And Menace is actually, although having the advantage position, he's going to lose the race. And Chavalos was reading a touch that never came there from the defender. So yes, I do believe this is very likely to go to game number 7, given how closely matched these two teams are. And even when they are closely matched, there does seem to be either that moment of madness or moment of brilliance that seems to just take this series further and further. NBA Miles picked up the 100 boost and says no thank you on the corner. Oh, has the entire pitch to his mercy. Looking for the infield pass. Doesn't need it. Bubbles head straight for the player. And that's 1-0 Cowboys.
The NBA, he 50 the entire squad. Give me the full 150 out of the roster. Miles just went the distance out of winning challenges. I mean, 3 coin tosses in a row, 3 dubs in a row. That's unheard of. I mean, Miles earned that goal. 1-0 Cowboys.
Midfield line in possession of Bubbles, but removed immediately. There's a little bit of a love tap there between Chavalos and Bossa George. She left me trying to bring the play forward. And unfortunately, that play going to go all the way back to the midfield line as Livermore Cowboys, again, desperately looking for that 2-goal lead, which does seem to make or break the series. The only win which had more than a 1-goal advantage was that 6-1 drubbing from game number 2. I'm sure Livermore would love to see more of that, but Bubbles has given up possession here. Both of his teammates ready to receive the pass. Bossa George, a little bit pedestrian here from Livermore Cowboys as it's gone all the way back to the blue half. And Chavalos, a little bit pedestrian himself there. Perhaps didn't have any boost. It's a bit of a power play as the demo comes to nothing, a full clearance.
Yeah, the aggressiveness is not there. And I think that's going to be a problem, especially with the Cowboys, who started off with probably their best offense so far. You might as well just say they're not as accurate as deadly, but they might as well just be effective.
Oh,
every
what a pass.
look that they've had on net has been a goal, and now the defense doing their part to keep that 1-goal lead. All that it will take, a pancake from Bubbles towards the ground and now pushing forward towards the offense. Maybe a little bit of insurance will be nice. The Lions.
Oh, no way!
Will be huge for Bubbles to get the second one on the board.
So can we talk about the fact that Bubbles completely flubbed the original touch in their own corner and just readjusted to, as you say, pancake onto the ball, then carries it forward, beats 2 defenders, and the third completely whiffs the touch. Daylight for Livermore Cowboys here in game number 5, and not a moment too soon. There's still over half the game left to go.
Oh, the Cowboys are shining momentarily, but they're shining, Bubbles. Just lofts it up, and this could be a shot for the Lions on target and out. Double commit, still a save. 2-0 entering the second half, and the Lions are now shaking in their paws. It could get slippery here. The Cowboys, though, their boots waterproof. The sweat is a little bit too much, but they're ready to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, the snake in the boots is very much out of said footwear, and it's got a venomous bite. Menace makes it 3.
Oh, wow. Look at the speed behind Menace to get to this ball. Cutting the corner, making sure that the ball does not go past the box. Sinks it in. The third one now entering the second half. The Lions are in big trouble. You need to get something, not because you're trying to win this game, but because you want to go into the next one with momentum. The Cowboys are on a roll.
And it would spell the first time in the series. It's been back and forth, but this would be the first time where the fourth comes before the back, and that could spell danger heading into game number 6. Less than 2 minutes left. Just to try and find something at this point. Western Lions, its possession given up by Menace. She left me going for the dunk, misses it. Oh, and it's a full send from Livermore. Menace is able, surely this is a goal. It most certainly is. Lovely, cool, calm, collected presence from Menace. And my goodness me, West Linn, they either win by a minute amount or they lose by an awful lot.
Now, that's a textbook put it behind the keeper's shot, and you love to see it. The Lions, though, it's not over till it's over. Play till the whistle, 1:41 on the clock. Take it as practice because you're definitely going into game 6 playing your life on the line. This one could be the start of a comeback instead. It'll be all the way into the transition. Now, another one pounding the backboard, and that has also been a great idea. You take down the defense one touch at a time. Bubbles with the 5th one on the board with 90 seconds on. It's all for the Cowboys.
So this is just great positioning from Bubbles on that far side. She left me being mutilated really on the far side there, and just a lovely touch back into the middle by NBA Miles, winning the race to the ball, and that's why we see a 5-0 advantage now. Everything that could go right has gone right for the Livermore Cowboys. The opposite could be said of the Western Lions. That touch as an example, followed up by that touch from the last defender, I think really just showing you which way the winds are blowing in game number 5.
Almost definitely this last 6 seconds are just a prime example of how the Lions have it played and how the Cowboys have punished this play style for the entirety of the meeting now. We're moving on to match point after a rough start. West Linn, though, have one more chance to go back-to-back and steal the series that were once theirs. 50 seconds to go, maybe one for the road. Denied. Shy of the box. Going all the way to the right side of the wall. Menace to the corner. She left me. Will get dusted. Dusted twice by her and the ball. 30 ticks to go. Nothing going towards the blue side. The Lions just put a long one into orange, but nothing too threatening. And that's something that you're going to look out for in game number 6. You got to have shot quality, something we have not seen out of the Lions all game number 5.
Yeah, that was a free goal for Bossa George. This is even more free for Bossa George, and that's 2 bites of the cherry, and somehow they've still not made it to the center core. It's a full reset here for the West Linn Lions. This was a game to forget. They're going to have to win 2 on the bounce if they want to win this series, if they want to preserve that lossless record. I realize this is only their second series, but still an important point of confidence boosting and morale to keep up for the troops. Excellent work from the Livermore Cowboys, though, Mitch. Really, just as I said, nothing went wrong for them. They plagued every single mistake that they saw from their opposition.
Yeah, it very well might be that experience that you've had so far in the season. Of course, we're trying to adjust to their schedules as well, but they have 3 series under their belt compared to the Lions' own sole one throughout the campaign. And now, like you said, they're trying to stay undefeated. But can you do that against Livermore? Can you do that against the Cowboys, who seem white hot and come out guns blazing, pun intended? This one will be key for the Lions to keep their perfect campaign intact. It'll be a matter of who's going to score first. That's been the name of the game, Relic.
Is there some more spelunking to be done for the West Linn Lions. Is there a final roar in this tale to be had? Well, so far, so good. They have not conceded off the kickoff. We have seen that a couple of times from the Lions. That's a nice backboard hit. That's going to glance across the orange net. Is very similar to the last game, actually. West Linn Lions on the attack straight from the off, looking to more set panic into the defense than anything. But Livermore Cowboys, they have an anchor player back there. They are more than happy to soak up the pressure. They're looking for this counter-attacking opportunity. Maybe Bubbles to get involved. No, it heads back to the orange base.
Oh, boy. First minute has been a back and forth, but you're not trailing. That's a positive for the Lions. This one, though, a whiff, that's a negative, and they'll erase it right there. 6 ticks have already been erased, but Cowboys struggling this time to find the bottom of the net. At least we see some defense out of the Lions, very much needed if we're trying to take the series the distance. Middle of the field, what a pass, what a lob. Miles looking for the dunk, slows it down to a crawl, and then the follow-up will sink the first one. Of course it is Bubbles. Who else was it going to be?
Pew pew. And you just saw as soon as that blue net started getting tested, it was looking a little testy for all three defenders. Panic sets in. The panic that they were looking to enact on the Livermore Cowboys comes back to bite them. And that is a very important lead for the team in orange on match point, of course. The series could be all sewn up in a matter of 3 minutes 30 unless a big pinch like this happens and everything goes back to naught.
Oh, it's Captain Clutch, Bosser George, who needs to show up and get the full 100 out of the challenge. Pinches it out of an opponent and a half, going straight towards the net. 3:33 on the clock. The lucky numbers will line up maybe for a Lions comeback. At least they tie it up in the first 90 seconds. Miles looking for the clearance. Double commit from the defense. Dangerous for the Cowboys. And Miles will have to actually turn around and do a short rotation, but she left me. Will find the angle. The overcommit from the defense will find the Lions in the first lead in a while.
It's an oxymoron. She left me finally found the net. But most of that is down to the Livermore Cowboys completely leaving that western flank open. More looking at what Bossa George was doing and not looking at the macro. That is a full turnaround for the West Linn Lions. It's a massive shot in the arm. That's a massive deflection into the midfield. And there could be danger. Danger, Will Robinson, as a menace manages to find the touch but isn't able to find the net.
Oh, I pulled the punt a little too early. Now it's the Lions talking to the Cowboys, telling them, hold your horses. There we go. That's a better suit. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Of course, they have 3 minutes to go if they want to go to game 7. And they have to win it if they want to fulfill the prophecy. The Cowboys are just eager, though, to get that lead back. Oh, and this double commit is now going to help. A lot of action coming from the orange half. Double commit with the whip.
No.
Shadowboss has a lot of green in front of him. Puts this one on target. Enough for some insurance. 3-1. The Lions are leading.
What in tarnation was that? Just the entire defense completely missed. And Menace, who is the only person left back, he was traveling to the shop for boost. He couldn't do anything about it. West Linn Lions, it's a freebie.
You know what one of my oldest sayings when I started playing Rocket League was, if we're both gonna commit, at least somebody hit it. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, it doesn't matter if we both go. That's fine. Mistakes happen. Comps are hard. Whatever. Somebody, please get this one away from our half. And that's the worst nightmare for the Cowboys, who now are facing a 2-goal deficit. Oh, this could have been shrunk to 1, but she left me unable to find impact on the ball as they intended big clearance to the opposite side of the field. And now the Lions are trying to get something going. Cowboys pounding on the knee, unable to get a shot on target. The box has not been kind to them this last meeting, and now they're already thinking about game 7 of 50 will go wide, and the Lions still in the lead.
They desperately... Oh, well, you know what? Ooh. They are going to desperately get that challenge that they were looking for. It was just a full 5 seconds too late into the day. Bubbles here. Lovely touch here, but it's this challenge goes underneath Chavalos, and that was easily put home. Bubbles claims the credit, but it's NBA Miles who forces the OG. It's a 1-goal game. West Linn Lions can't win easy, can they? It always has to be a tight-knit affair.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Miles, looking for the angle. Get denied by the woodwork. Now all the way deep into Bubbles unable, though, to get the touch that they wanted out of the corner. And if there was a better rotation out of the Lions, that could have been the one to stop the dream. Instead, now they're playing defense. Shalavos has to rotate wide. George unable to make contact either. Bubbles fakes the boost, looking for the flip, and that's been also what they've been intending all series long. Plenty of bumps going both ways. The 9-second zone in full effect. The Lions looking to hold on for Game 7.
Yeah, we'll say if there's been one thing that's been disturbingly lacking from the Livermore Cowboys, it is that lack of fireworks, that lack of demo play, really. They've been happy to bump, but it's more been a case of circumstance than a case of we are going to make something happen here. Literally, as soon as I say that, they change up the game. They get that demo on the keeper, and Bubbles is allowed to just roll this one into the enemy net. 3-3, 47 left on the clock.
That's unfortunate for the defense because I don't care who you demo. There should not be 3/4 of the field empty without any defenders. The Cowboys will gladly take this one all the way to the end zone. And now you tied it up in the final minute. The Lions, they were already thinking about Game 7, but how about you close out Game 6? Cowboys looking to steal the meeting. Last 30 ticks to go.
Trying to get out of their own half here. Livermore Cowboys find a way through the melee. Hits the corner. Ricochets back out. She left me. Will be left to their own devices. Livermore Cowboys backing off here. A bit of pacifism here in the wild, wild west as Chavalos goes over one. She left me goes over the second, but Bubbles is all on their lonesome here. Does a bit of a fancy dancy flick there as we can see just how much time they really do have bumped out of the way. Manages to follow the ball's trajectory. Falls up nicely for MPA Miles, and it would have been a goal had the cruel mistress that is Lady Time not run out.
Oh, we don't touch grass because we hated this one. We'll end the game now, send it into overtime regulation. Won't be enough, and now the Lions and the Cowboys will battle it out. One win would mean the series going to the distance. Another one ending the series altogether. And this shot denied by the crossbar will keep the OT going. The Cowboys survive. Lions, though, pounding first and trying to make it the distance. Shot of us from the heavens will try to drop it down. Shot won't be found. She left me with the drop down. What a pass! That will overcommit George. This is an open net. The angle for the Doomsday. 0 boost for the attack! And Bubbles, none other than Bubbles, will call series in Game 6.
They would have felt very, very aggrieved had they lost this overtime. It was the game. It was the series on a plate. They failed to put it to bed. But just a few seconds past their bedtime, finally, Lions have fallen into those Livermore Cowboys to 3 and their 4 major records. The Lions taste defeat time.
And the Lions, they strung a series of great shots, great defense, and then at the end of the day, you let it slip in overtime. It must sting, but it's not. It's barely your second matchup of the season. You're gonna pick yourself up, you gotta dust yourself off, and then you gotta have short-term memory. It's fine. You almost win a distance against probably one of the teams to beat in the region. The Cowboys, again, like you said, move on to 3-1, and I think this is probably one of the ones in the win column that cost them the most.
Yeah, so they've already lost one series. They really couldn't afford to lose anymore. In an 8-week season, you need to be picking up 5-6 wins at the very least to qualify for the playoffs, and they are well on their way, as we are indeed, to closing off the broadcast here on this 27th of October, at least here. Over there, of course, I imagine it is the 26th still, but nevertheless, we promised you 2 highlights packages. We're going to bring you 2 highlights packages, but a brief break must interlude first. So from Mitch and from myself, we'll see you then after this.